February, a Cape Girardeau woman will saddle up against riders from all over the globe.
She's competing in what's been called one of the world's toughest horse races. Carly O'Keefe has her story.
Morgan Williams has ridden horses most of her life. Now she's gearing up for the adventure of a lifetime and raising money for a charity very close to her heart. Heart pumping, adrenaline racing. Whether it's on 2 legs or 4, Morgan Williams says she's always charged toward a challenge.
I need the next challenge, and I've always done, like running and half marathons. I've shown dressage most of my life. I've competed in a lot of things, and I think and I do like to travel, so I think putting all these things together and seeing how far I can push it is definitely the next goal.
That next goal will take her from the rolling hills of Missouri to the craggy peaks of Patagonia. Morgan is among 35 riders selected from a pool of more than 200 applicants from all over the world to compete in the Gaucho Derby.
It's a 7 to 10 day horse race where I'll draw 7 horses out of a hat. I gotta catch them, throw my saddlebags on, all the stuff that I need to survive the next 10 days possibly. Has to go in there.
The Gaucho Derby pushes participants to the extreme in an ultimate test of survival, endurance, and horsemanship across a minimum of 310 miles through some of the most rugged and unforgiving terrain on planet Earth.
It is straight up mountains.
It's insane they can go down this.
So we have to get off and walk them down. You slide down like forever. They have bogs. So you might be riding along, the ground looks great, and then all of a sudden your horse sinks into its chest.
The terrain isn't all that'll be working against Morgan in the wilds of Patagonia. The weather probably won't do her any favors either.
On top of the hill, it could be really cold because that wind is coming off the mountains, and it's pretty, they call it biblical winds, and they're not joking. Like the weather can go from 80 degrees during the day, and then at night it could be snowing. So you have to be kind of prepared for all kinds of weather options.
And she has to fit everything she needs to survive all into saddlebags that can't weigh more than 22 pounds.
My tent, my sleeping bag, I have a stove, a little burner to cook my food and boil water, a multi-tool, you gotta have a multi-tool for filtration system. It's all the stuff that you're gonna need to survive.
She'll also need to pack necessities to take care of her horse because good horsemanship is an essential component to this race. Riders have to stop at 18 checkpoints, and if their horse isn't doing well, the rider is penalized.
So you really gotta make sure you take care of your horse along the way.
On top of all that, she'll be riding a horse she's never met before in her life.
You draw one out and then you have to go catch them. And these horses are wonderful, but they are a bit feral. And then once they get that horse, they have to very, very quickly get to know them, get to earn their trust. So some really, really epic tests of horsemanship.
With so many epic tests at every turn, Morgan says if she can just finish the Gaucho Derby, she'll consider it a win.
I think it's definitely going to be a mental game.
It's a really amazing process to be a part of and a really amazing test of the human spirit.
If Morgan does happen to cross the finish line first, she'll win some major bragging rights. But she's not in it for the glory. Her ride will raise money for the nonprofit Canines for Warriors.
It's 2 for 1. They rescue. So, they take dogs that are in shelters and repurpose them to do PTSD, support animals.
That's a mission that holds special significance for Morgan. Her dad, John Williams, was a Marine Corps combat veteran who suffered from PTSD.
My dad, he was in Vietnam and he shot cannons. So he was like right on the front line. So he got to see, I'm sure, a lot.
Sadly, John won't be there to cheer Morgan on as she rides in the Gaucho Derby. He passed away 10 years ago at age 64.
From a stroke, which they think could be linked to the war. Agent Orange was like right on the front line, so they think that could be one of the reasons.
Morgan says she's carrying on her dad's love of the outdoors, and he may be one reason she's willing to brave unpredictable weather, rough terrain, and countless unknowns to take on one of the world's toughest horse races.
I remember sitting on the porch, you know, just in thunderstorms, and we'd rather be outside in it than inside. He would think this is awesome. He'd think I was crazy, but he would be like super proud.
Morgan's already taken part in the Gaucho Academy in Argentina. She'll train more in Oregon in the fall. In the meantime, she is fundraising. The entry fee for the Gaucho Derby is not cheap. She wants to raise as much money as possible for Canines for Warriors as well. If you'd like to help, you can find a link to Morgan's GoFundMe page in this story on our website. Carly O'Keefe, Heartland News.